and welcome to our daily news show, The Big Story, where we talk about the hottest topics of today right in the heart of the newsroom. I'm Kimberly Jiao, coming to you live from the Straits Times, and we are streaming on YouTube and Facebook, so do leave us a like, comment, and share it with your friends, as well as hit that bell to be told whenever we go live. I'll be joined by a couple of my newsroom colleagues to discuss what got you talking today. Our first story: 3 organizations are now investigating whether technology giant Huawei breached consumer protection laws and advertising guidelines in its $54 smartphone National Day promotion that led to chaotic scenes at stores across the island last Friday. With me to discuss this today is journalist Tiffany Fumiko-Tay. Hello.
Hi.
So what are the laws and guidelines in question here, and what action could be taken against Huawei if they were to be found guilty?
Yeah, so there's the Consumer Protection Fair Trading Act, and that stipulates that a supplier can't make certain representations if they don't reasonably believe that they can fulfill them. So under this act case, the Consumers Association is the kind of main point of contact for complaints. They try to mediate, but if a retailer is persistently errant, then what they can do is refer them to the Competition and Consumer Commission. And so they have the power to gather evidence and also to file an injunction with the court if need be. And so then there's the Advertising Standards Authority. So what that is a self-regulating industry body. And its guidelines similarly state that if you are going to advertise something, you need to make sure that you can fulfill the foreseeable demand that's generated from that ad or campaign. And so if they decide that there are a certain ad breaches its guidelines, it can have its media members, which include Singapore Press Holdings and MediaCorp, stop running the ad. So in this case, I don't think there's much that can be done to punish Huawei, even if it's found to have breached either or both sets of rules, because the promotion's already over, so they're not going to run the ad again, I don't think. So it is a little unusual. I think that a case would refer this one-off incident to the commission. But I think Mr. Lim Biao Chuan, the case's president, said that what he's hoping to have come out of this is for the commission to administer like a stern warning or public reprimand to the company, to just send a signal to other retailers that this isn't acceptable, because at the end of the day, public resources were wasted when the police had to be called in to kind of manage the mess.
Right, and speaking of this mess, could this huge chaos thing, could it have been avoided?
I think it definitely could have been mitigated, right? So consumers, Singaporeans love a good deal. And so when you announce that you're going to be slashing the price of one of your smartphones by more than 2/3, you should expect a reasonably large crowd to show up, right? So Huawei has pointed out that in its published print ad that came out last week, at the bottom it says in the terms and conditions that it's on a first-come, first-served basis as long as stocks last. But that disclaimer wasn't in the kind of promotional poster that was sent to the media, which was then displayed on various websites online. But I think the bigger issue is that they didn't specify how many units were going to be available as part of this promotion. So, for example, if they had said that at some stores it's going to be limited to the first 20 or 30 customers, then maybe people wouldn't have bothered to turn up. Or if they came and saw that, hey, I don't have a shot, then they would just go home. And you would also expect that for a 3-day promotion, there would be a reasonable amount of stock available. So I think that's where some of the anger that was displayed by the crowds was coming from. So Huawei has apologized, and they're trying to make good now by giving $100 vouchers to about 5,000 people who showed up and registered to buy the phone but weren't able to. So what this will do is allow them to also purchase the phone at a discounted price if they want to. But I think Huawei is going to have to be quite careful with how they manage the situation, so that this recovery attempt doesn't go wrong for them.
I see. So we're going to have to pay attention to how Huawei deals with this. Thanks for sharing more with us, Tiffany. Thanks. If you'd like to keep up with this as it develops, do head on to our website. That's www.straitstimes.com. Our second story: fewer couples are tying the knot, but a smaller number of them, my apologies, also parted ways last year. So last year saw the lowest number of marriages in 5 years and a 3.1% drop in divorces from 2017. With me to discuss this today is Social Senior Affairs Correspondent Teresa Tan. Hello.
Hi.
So why are marriages on the decline?
I think it's hard to give a very definitive reason why marriages fall from year to year, but I guess sociologists was pointing out that the economy is slowing down, it's volatile, and jobs are at stake. You know, so when all of that happens, people tend to hold off on the big decisions like getting married, having a baby, buying a flat. So that could be one reason. And when we spoke to geomancers, they also said that last year was considered rather inauspicious. So that could have played a factor for some Chinese couples, you know, thinking whether to register their marriage last year.
Right. So another one of the sort of trends that you wrote about in your article is that people are tending to marry late. Why do you think that's on the rise?
Well, I guess if you look around you, you know, people are just spending a lot more time in school, getting a degree, and after that they, you know, put in a lot of effort to build their careers, even before they think of settling down. And the other thing which is happening is that, you know, marriage is no longer a must to, you know, it's an option. And for many women I know, I mean, they're not going to get married if they're not finding Mr. Right, or they're not sure if the guy is Mr. Right. They're not going to settle for Mr. Maybe or Mr. So-so. You know, so, you know, you factor in everything, you know, marriage, the age of marriage is just going to creep up. So it's crept up to about, I think, 30.2 years for males last year, and 28.5 years for women. And for women, I think the increase over the past decade is fairly significant. It went up by almost 1 year. Yeah, so I think this is what we could be expecting. I mean, how about you and your friends?
Yeah, I think I am starting to notice that people are not wanting to get married. Some of my friends are even saying that marriage is not going to be on the cards for them at all. So I think that's kind of concerning, because what do these stats rather mean for Singapore?
I mean, well, when people are not getting married, naturally, you tend to have fewer children because there are very few births that take place out of wedlock in Singapore. And then when you have people marrying at a later age, you're going to get fewer babies most likely, because, you know, you like it or not, a woman's age will decrease. No, a women's fertility will decrease with age. You know, it's just science. You know, so birth rate is likely to fall. I mean, that's what every expert we spoke to, and that's not good news on a personal front. I mean, if you're trying for a baby, you know, most people think they can wait, but hey,
Biology dictates.
Yeah, biology, there is a clock. And also, I guess on a social level, I mean, you know, we are seeing a very rapidly aging society where, you know, there are a lot more deaths now, and people are aging, the population is aging very rapidly. So, and all of that, you know, fewer births, more death, rapidly aging society, on the demographic front, it's just going to be a rather stark reality.
I see. So, well, for today, we've talked about a lot of numbers and a lot of figures and a lot of statistics. So if you'd like to read the full story that Teresa has worked on, do head on to our website. That's www.straitstimes.com. Thanks for sharing more with us, Teresa.
Thank you.
And those were our top stories of the day. Once again, if you would like more news and videos, do head on to our website. And this has been Kimberly. Thank you for watching The Big Story, and we'll see you tomorrow.